Yasmine, so good to be here again this week. Love meeting with you every week.
I love being with you.
Awesome. I seriously have a problem. I have some issues with my market and I'm not sure what to do. Here's what's coming up all over the place. And that is the disparity between, so you have a property, it needs some work. And like maybe it needs a little electrical. Or one of my properties needs a little electrical work, meaning it's functioning, it passes code and everything else, but it's got knob and tube wiring. I don't know if you've ever ran
Oh,
into
yes.
that, but it's got knob and
Yes,
tube
we have
wiring.
that.
Okay. And so the question is, and for us to get rid of that knob and tube, it probably cost less than $10,000 to get rid of that knob and tube. Well, my clients are saying another one, it needs a new deck. The deck is really bad. But what they're looking
Right.
at, and so for the deck, it would cost maybe 5 grand for this new deck. And what they're saying, they're going, I don't want to do with it. I don't want to deal with it. I would rather just lower the price and have somebody else, have them take care of it. They can build whatever they want, or they can put in whatever wiring they want, that kind of a thing. It works, it functions. How do you handle that? How do you decide what to change and what to just adjust pricing accordingly?
Yeah, like you just said, adjust pricing or so. I typically go with what is the goal? I see during the prep time, right? I see, oh, they're going above and beyond getting the house ready. And so I know their commitment based on certain actions they take during prep time. I have something similar right now. We're getting ready. The clients were really engaged in getting the house ready. And now we are starting inspections. And we just had the roof report and it's $3,000. So my clients are saying, should we do this or should we make it part of negotiations? So I say, here is the current market situation, right? And then here is how you're presenting your house. It's my assumption that they want top dollars for the house. If they want top dollars for the house, based on what I've seen with a prep, then they need to get the roof done
Right.
because people are going to, and roof, for example, well, we can go back to the general inspections or general needs. Uh, I think with electrical stuff is tough. Electrical stuff will always be tough because it's a can of worms, right? You say, okay, let's get this done, and then they open up, and then oh, there's a bigger problem. So I would say if it's an old house that
It
has
is an
old
old house.
electrical, don't touch it.
Well, this is what's happened on this
Knob and
one.
tube, yeah. So
Yeah.
if it's knob and tube, like in Oakland, we have that all the time. It's a disclosure. It's a disclosure, but it's still a big project.
Exactly. And here's what we ran into. We went under contract, top dollar. When they started going through the inspections and everything else, they found knob and tube because the electrical, much of the electrical has been replaced, but they found knob and tube up in the attic above the garage. The people walked.
Well, yeah. Why don't you do inspections prior?
That's a whole different discussion. I was going to ask you about that. Do you always do inspections prior?
Always. You can't get top dollars if you don't have inspections up front anymore. People want to be educated. It used to be a huge part of our contracts used to be let's negotiate, right? Oh, let's have the buyer get the inspections done and then go back and forth with negotiations. That is over. People want to see what they are buying and they want to know what the inspections say prior to getting into contract. And maybe you can be, the cutting edge of realtors where you are on saying, okay, we're going to change our approach. I
Well,
work closely with agents in the Bay Area and
well,
I
I already am because of this. And that's what we do. Certified turnkey home program. My certified turnkey home program does that inspections up front, all those kinds of things. And it has worked, meaning when we do that, when we have a certified turnkey home, we do get top dollar. It does improve it. It's just a matter of your again, the dilemma is if your client doesn't know about some of these things, you're opening up Pandora's box to all of a sudden all these things that they really need to repair or disclose. You're increasing the responsibility of the seller when you do those inspections, and so
I
that's
just
why.
don't know. I don't know this. I'm not a big fan of this certified thing. I think it is part of our job to do due diligence. I think it is part of our job to have all the information without that title, certified home, blah blah blah. I I would in the SPQ and in the TDS. I don't know if you have that, but in our seller questionnaires, and maybe you just need to create a questionnaire saying knob and tube, question mark. How old is the roof? Any repairs done? Maybe you need to have your own questionnaire, and based on what the outcome of the questionnaire is, you're going to say, you know what, we need to have an inspection. This is just too vague. We're going to lose all power when people start finding this.
Right.
Top
Right.
dollars will be over when they see certain aspects of the house.
Right. Right. The thing that is really good though is I found I think I flip homes periodically. I rehab homes and things like that. So my electrician is no longer in the state. He's left the state. So I called up a buddy who does the same thing, and he lent me his electrician, and they're only going to charge me $50 an hour,
Nice.
which is like cheap. And
Yeah.
I went, oh, and so my client, I'm trying to get them to just get it done. $50 an hour, whatever he runs into. And you're right. He may open up Pandora's box. There may be some time. It'll be well worth it. If you can remove that knob and tube and get that whole thing just primo, it will be the,
The knob and tube applies to the breaker box, right?
yeah. Well, it's got a new breaker box. Relatively speaking, it's got a new breaker box. It's just what they did is they tapped into the knob and tube when they put in the new wiring and didn't remove it. So there's a significant portion of the electrical that's already been replaced. There's just outliers that weren't. And so now, actually, we have 3 runs. What they found out when they did the inspection, when I brought in the electrician, he said there's 3 runs that are knob and tube. One of them goes to the basement, which is the one that is the most difficult to remove, because now you got to tear out the sheetrock and the ceiling and so forth. The other 2 runs go up into the attic, so he can get up there and mess with it up there more easily. But so we don't really know what are we dealing with. Like you're saying, how big's the project? And it's really hard to counsel. That's why I want to talk to you, get your feedback on it.
Yeah.
About counseling on that.
I had that this morning, just receiving the roof inspection report. And they came back. I sent it to them, $3,000. They actually said yesterday, hey, while he's up there, he can just do on the spot some repairs as they arise. And I'm like, well, here it is. And then my seller said he didn't do any on the spot repairs yesterday. I'm like, well, because this is an extensive repair, there's more to just. So no, he didn't do that. Anyways, with that said, he's like, well, now what? Are we going to make it part of negotiations, or are we going to fix it? My recommendation is there are certain things where buyers are like, I don't want to deal with this. Solar and roofs is in my opinion, a big one, because it's up there. They can't go visual saying, oh, there's some dry rot here, or, where they can actually see it. It's on the roof. They have no clue. It's out there. And unless it's fixed, they're going to ask for it. So my recommendation was, well, it's $3,000. The current market, really doesn't allow for things to be wishy-washy. And in my opinion, roofs are an important aspect of the sale of a house, because it goes from $3,000 to a new roof. And there are many other things where I believe, well, if we don't fix it, what could it turn into? I always feel like, what could it turn into? But it's also a discussion item for your clients. And as long as you are straightforward saying, well, this can turn into a disaster, and you're not going to get top dollars unless we disclose it. And I think part of your interview or your strategy should always be, let's get all the inspections done up front, regardless of your certified program or not.
Interesting. As usual, different perspectives. That's what I like meeting with you. You make me think about other things, and in all aspects of life, politics, the whole 9 yards.
Oh,
you make
God.
me think about it.
Oh,
Awesome.
here we go.
Well, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much for explaining what you guys are doing there in the in the Bay Area, and about you're just doing inspections on everything, and even before you list. That's a very interesting approach. So anyway,
We all do.
it. You have an awesome week.
Yeah.
Love meeting with you. You take care.
See you later.
Bye-bye.